Welcome to Yury Experience, and today I want to talk to you about conspiracy theories. Around half a year to a year ago, I went to a birthday of a good friend of mine, and there were a couple people who went with me, and not a big group, it was Corona already, and we discussed vaccinations. It was a big topic at that moment, so no wonder that we were discussing it. And at some point we went for this theory that Bill Gates would want to microchip everybody. And one friend of mine who was with us at that moment, whose parents are doctors and who works in a scientific field, asked, like in the round, asked us how people can believe it. And I think at that moment I provided kind of good answer, and I will give some information for you too. So yes, conspiracy theories, let's discuss them. That was a conspiracy theory, obviously, and there are a lot of them in this world and people believe in them. Why? I will discuss that today too. Let's do it. But before we really go into that, this is Yury Experience and I'm Yury. Here I'm sharing my different opinions about different topics, and today is one of these videos where I just share my opinion, mostly. I do 2 videos per week, Mondays and Thursdays, and I hope you will enjoy this video. If it will happen, please drop a like. You can also subscribe to the channel, and except for that, let's go for it. So let's start with the definition, because definition is always a good start. Conspiracy theories are some kind of theories that explain some events, situations, developments in a way that some group was a reason of that. So some evil group, which is important, was behind it, was behind some situation, some event, some development. Some of these groups are based on politics or some political opinions. Other groups are based on status opinions, maybe economical opinions. Others religious, others cultural or race or ethnicity or whatnot. There are a lot of conspiratorial groups who have conspiracies. Yeah, I think it makes more sense. And the best thing about this conspiracy theory, it gives you a rather simple explanation that is completely not probable, but it provides an easy solution. You don't need to think a lot. It is there. The solution is there. But first, it is normally based on some hypothesis. It is not based on some facts. I mean, each and every theory is based on hypothesis, but most of the theories need some studies, some experiments in order to prove them. And in case of conspiracy theories, it is almost impossible to make some kind of experiment or to get some kind of information that would prove it. Which brings me to the second point. There is normally not sufficient evidence to actually say anything, but people still do it. They get some evidence, some maybe low quality evidence, or some evidence that isn't really connected, or some bad evidence, and they pull it apart and make 100% out of it. That is the truth. That is how it is. That's how conspiracy theories work. They pull some lies so strongly that they become truth. And the main thing, the third thing that connects all of the conspiracy theories, they are not probable. So in terms of probability, there is always some things that are more probable and less probable. And although the solutions that conspiracy theories provide are easier overall, the probability of them being true is kinda low, because of various reasons. For some theories the probability is low because the world isn't like that, or maybe because science is not like that, maybe because we don't work like that, or maybe because the universe doesn't work like that. And although something doesn't work like that, people who believe in conspiracy theories take that lies sometimes small truths, sometimes not qualitatively good truths, and make the whole theory around it. They create absolutes. They create truth out of it and say it is like that, and you can do your best to prove that they are wrong, but it is not that easy. As I mentioned already, there are a couple of reasons why it is difficult to disprove such kind of a theory. Let me give you a couple of examples. There is this idea of proving whether devil exists. It is something that I've heard somewhere. I think I read it in manga actually, but it's still pretty interesting for me. I don't know whether there is an official name for that. You can write it in a comment if there is one. So the point is following. In order to prove that devil is not existing, you need to go everywhere on earth and simultaneously look everywhere where the devil is there. And only in that case you can prove that devil doesn't exist. Which is why in the case of existence of devil, it is easy to say devil exists, but it's very difficult to say or prove the devil is not existing. I think this principle is sometimes used in laws, and in that case the person that has a claim, that made a claim, has to prove that that claim is true, and not the other way around. Not the other person has to say no, it's not true, because sometimes it's not really that easy to prove something. And basically that is how conspiracy theories work. It is impossible to prove the devil doesn't exist. That is why basically you can say the devil exists and it will remain stated. Nobody can come to you and say, you know what, I looked everywhere. But did you really? Did it simultaneously? Did you do it? That is why obviously you can believe that there are aliens among us who just are wearing human skin. Because you need to look everywhere and actually dissect each and every person to prove that it's not the case. Will you do it? No. So basically the person who makes a claim in this case actually should prove it. But it's not in interest of that person. In interest of that person is to make a claim, to be loud, to make an easy decision, to get an easy way out, but not to prove it. Another reason why it is difficult to disprove conspiracy theories is the fact that in a lot of occasions the people who are following some conspiracy theory ideas are saying that scientists or people who write history, historians, I hope, these people are just in the same group as this evil group who made this conspiracy. So basically a good example are vaccinations. There's Big Pharma. All of the pharmacological companies are together and are working on making vaccination in some bad way for us, so we either die in 1 year or maybe we are getting microchipped according to Bill Gates' theory, or something else. Or maybe they even developed coronavirus and now they are selling us vaccination. So the point is, scientists in this case wouldn't be a believable source because they're connected to Big Pharma. Which is why if a scientist makes a claim, no, this conspiracy theory is wrong, he's in the same group as bad guys. But if that scientist is saying, no, actually vaccination looks really bad, he proves our theory. That is good information. Not information of that person, no, that is good information. And by the way, that is another way of not allowing to disprove conspiracy theory. You are just saying my information is good and your information is bad. It doesn't matter where information comes from. My information is good and your information probably has some probability of not being right. But my information is perfect, definitely. But your information is maybe not 100%. My information is 101%. And that makes conspiracy theories almost disprovable in most occasions. Even if you try. Because science doesn't provide you absolutes, science doesn't provide you 100%. Doesn't. And in history, a lot of occasions, depending on who you are asking, the person will say you something different. So there obviously also don't have one truth. But conspiracy theories, or people who are following this series, they have one truth. And they share it with the world. I think you could kinda understand that I don't like conspiracy theories. I don't like them, I think they are lazy. To be honest with you, that is my kind of biggest part of my opinion. They are lazy. They are easy way out. They don't need thinking. They allow generalization. You just need, I have a stereotype, I have an opinion, and that is truth. I think it's too easy, I think it's too lazy. But obviously it is my opinion only. Not only, but it is my opinion. It was kind of interesting for me to read today a comparison or like connection between conspiracy theories and this fear of something bad happening to you. I'm forgetting what's the name, that is the name. And it was like, when I read it, I was like, oh, it actually makes sense. This fear, for example, a lot of kings and queens or people in high positions had fears that common folk will come for their heads without actually having what to be afraid of. Sometimes they did have, but sometimes they really didn't, because people don't really think about stuff like that when they are starving, for example. Which is actually interesting thing, because conspiracy theories work in different directions. They work in big directions. There's like some group of people who rules over all of us, but they also go down. There's a group of people of a lower status that are going to destroy our lives. It's interesting for me. I don't think I will follow any conspiracy theory anytime soon, but I wouldn't make bold claims as I will never believe in one, because let's be honest, we all sometimes just want simple things to be true. We want to have this 100% to hold on to. We want it to happen. And that is why so many people believe in conspiracy theories. That is, in my opinion at least. People want to have that stability, and that's what provides it to them. Conspiracy theory. Because sometimes other ways are more difficult. Anyways, that's all for today. I hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, please drop a like. You can also subscribe to the channel, and except for that, I see you on Monday. Yeah.